Okay, so now what we're going to cover is how to take the test for a Braille user using JAWS. So here I have two computers set up. The computer to my left is the TA computer, so this is the teacher computer. And then the computer to my right is the student computer, and we'll indicate when which computer will be displayed on the screen. So on the teacher computer first, I hope by now you've downloaded the secure browser, and if you have not, you can refer to our download and install the secure browser. It's a step-by-step instruction on how to find the secure browser and how to download and install it. Otherwise, your IT can do this for you. And also, on the TA computer, you should have the embosser driver in which you're using. So the purpose for today, we're going to be using the View Plus Tiger Max, and so you can refer to the View Plus Tiger driver installation sheet, and this is also step-by-step instruction on how to get the driver and how to install it. So you do not need Tiger Software Suite in order to emboss a PRN. You just need the Tiger Viewer. And that comes free with the Tiger Max embosser that you purchased. So those are the things that you would need on the TA side, TA computer. So now switching over to the student computer, I'm going to talk about there are a few things that you have to do for JAWS to recognize the secure browser. So we have a sheet called Configuring JAWS to Recognize the Secure Browser. It is step-by-step. It's a little bit techy, and you have to type in some code, but I'm going to go through it. And again, if you don't feel comfortable, you can give this sheet to your IT and ask them to do this for you. But if you would like to take the challenge, you can follow along. And like I said, it's very step-by-step. These instructions are for a Windows 10 computer, which is going to be a little bit different than if you're running a Windows 8 or Windows 7. We do have a sheet on how to access the same thing on a Windows 7 computer as well. So the first thing it says press or click the Windows key. So here I'm on the student computer. So I'm going to come down here, click the Windows key. And I'm going to scroll down until I get to JAWS here. There's JAWS 17 and 18. Now, I'm going to be using JAWS 18 because that is the newest version that's out. And I'm going to click this down arrow. It's going to open up two items here, and I'm going to open up the utilities. So here, that was just step number 3. And step number 4, it says select Explore Shared Settings. So here I'm going to Explore Shared Settings and open that up. And I'm quickly going to look for a file called config names. So I can do first letter navigation and type CON, and it jumps me to config names. And I'm going to press enter. It's going to open it in Notepad. Okay, so now these are some codes that makes JAWS work, and I need to find a line called Firefox. And so for me to quickly find Firefox, I'm going to do a Control F, and that's a find command, and I'm going to type in Firefox and press enter. It quickly jumps me to the line that has Firefox. You see it's highlighted here, and I can escape that. And so now that I've found that, I'm going to click there, and so here I'm number 8. It's asking me at the end of the line, press enter for a new line. So I'm going to press enter, and it's going to create a blank line, and I'm going to type in CA secure browser equals Firefox. And this is case sensitive, so you need to make sure that you type it exactly how it is. Now don't press enter here because that'll create another line. So this is what it should look like. And I'm just going to double check. Capital CAS, secure capital B browser equals Firefox, capital F. And so what this line of code does is it allows the secure browser to interact with Firefox. And so now we're going to save it. And you can save by pressing Control S. And then we will close it. You can take your mouse and click the X. And so now that's the first step in having JAWS recognize the secure browser. All right. The next thing we have to do is configure JAWS change a few of the JAWS settings to make the student most successful in taking the test. And so we will go ahead and start JAWS. And here you'll see that I am running, I'm using a Braille Display. Here I'm using a Focus 40 Braille Display. This one is also made by Freedom Scientific. And I have it connected. If this is your first time connecting the Braille Display to the computer, you might need to install the driver. Not necessary for a Focus 40, but if you're using another 40-cell Braille Display, you want to make sure that this is working. The settings that you can add a Braille Display is under Options Braille. So here what we want to do is we started JAWS. I'm on the sheet called Configuring JAWS Settings for the SBAC Test. I started JAWS. I'm going to select Options.
JAWS context menu, Options menu. To move through items, press up or down arrow, B.
And then I'm going to go down to Braille.
Braille ... L. Enter, leaving menus, Braille basic settings.
And so you'll see here the default Braille Display is the Focus 40, because I had already connected it. If you don't have anything there, if it says no Braille Display, then you can click Add Braille Display and find your Braille Display within the list. And right now I'm going to go to Advanced.
Advanced ... button to activate, press space.
And these are the general settings that we recommend for a Braille student. Your student might be a little bit different, but these are the settings that we found to be the most successful. So under Braille, we're going to click General.
Level 1, General.
And then if you look over here, the translation, English, okay, output. So if your student here is a grade 1 Braille student, uncontracted Braille, then you would select UEB here in California, UEB grade 1. So I'm going to keep it on grade 2. So this is the output.
General page.
And then the input is also grade 2. So the output and the input refers to the Braille display, what's being displayed on the Braille cells. So it's going to be grade 2. And then my input is also going to be grade 2. But if your student is grade 1, then go ahead and change it to UAB grade 1. Okay. The second thing that you want to make sure here is the active cursor follows the Braille display. And also the Braille cursor follows the active cursor. So make sure those two are checked. You also need to make sure that the display text in 8 dot Braille mode is selected so that you have the blinking cursor on dots 7 and 8. And then enable word wrapped. Those should kind of already be the default settings, but just make sure and double check that that's the case. And then we are going to go down to Advanced.
Preview, Advanced, Closed.
And here where it says Placement of Status Cells, by default it's going to be set to left. And what that is on the Braille display, it has the first about 4 cells are taken by this placement of status cells, and it gives you information about where you currently are. We feel that it kind of takes 5 cells away, so we're going to turn that off.
Advanced page, placement of status.
And then go ahead and click Apply.
Apply button to activate, press space.
And then
Basic
OK.
settings dialog. The active Braille display is focus. Advanced ... button. JAWS Professional.
Okay, so now your student computer is set up to recognize the secure browser, and the JAWS settings are set so the input and everything is how your student would use it. And then we can start with the logging onto the practice test and actually do a demonstration.